You can't sit here, Mr. Harrison. You were an employee of the Department of Homeland Security, and I want to get to that in a minute. You can't even acknowledge what your own agency said, that the biggest domestic terror threat is white nationalism, white supremacy. You're trying to get us, gaslight us up here as if Antifa, which Mr. Rosas, apparently the expert now in organized terrorist activity, has overruled the FBI director who says, there's a headline, says Antifa is an ideology, not an organization. No. Let's not listen to the FBI director. Let's listen to, what's your title? Senior writer at Townhall, who is going to tell us that the FBI director is wrong. And I'd like to introduce, there's no question. I'd like to introduce, by unanimous consent, an AP article saying the FBI director says Antifa is an ideology, not an organization.
Without objection, so ordered.
Can I respond to that?
No, you cannot. I didn't ask a question.
It's the gentleman's time. He can spend it any way he chooses.
Thing that one of my colleagues said about you a little while ago. I'd like to give you time to go ahead and do that.
Yeah, thank you, Congressman. Well, I think it's funny to be lectured by an heir to the Levi Strauss corporation, and honestly, that's probably why he doesn't consider property damage to be that big of a deal, because not only does he have that, but he also has what some would describe an impossibly good stock portfolio. But what I can tell you is that in these riots that happened, in my capacity as the senior writer for Townhall, I covered many of these BLM and Antifa riots firsthand, and I can tell you that these were very destructive events, not just in the moment and to the cities in which they occurred, but also to our nation's overall approach to law and order. During that chaotic time in our country's history, the same story repeated itself. The far left organized to attack not only police officers, but also neighborhoods and innocent bystanders, many of whom were minorities. Sometimes the anger was over justified police actions, like the riot in Kenosha, Wisconsin. I want to be clear. Yes, there were BLM protests that were peaceful. The common statistic that is cited is around 93% of them were peaceful, and to that I say thank goodness, because in that 7% of violence, over $2 billion worth of damage was done to places across the country.
Hey, what's up, everybody? So right now we're still here in Kenosha. Riots are still going on. Right now the curfew is still technically in effect, but as you can see, a lot of people are still out and about. Obviously, a burning building behind me, or as Ali Velshi would say, not an unruly protest. And actually, we can see right here, this is another car parking lot that was being targeted by people, but actually, and I'm going to put the video on this later, there were some armed citizens, basically, and in tactical gear and AR-15s, and they came over here and stopped the people or the rioters trying to destroy a lot of the cars. So the reason why these cars are not on fire, like the one that's over there, is because armed citizens put a stop to it. So I don't know. We'll see what tonight holds.
Sometimes repeatedly in the same area, dozens of lives were lost, and an untold number were hurt or injured, with myself being included. I also want to make clear that Antifa is very much a real movement within the United States, and they can pose a real threat to the safety of innocent Americans. They are not, as Representative Jerry Nadler has claimed, a myth. I have seen their destructive actions firsthand.
We look at Antifa as more of an ideology or a movement than an organization.